Oh, okay.
So the recording has begun.
Okay. So let us start. Some more teachers are ready to join, but let them join. We are not delaying. I'm really happy and proud to introduce to you Dr. A.N. Brijesh Nair. He is presently the Professor and Director of International Affairs and Global Contacts in Jindal University, OP Jindal University, which is based in Haryana, but having global operations. Dr. Brijesh Nair is basically from Tirunelveli. His parents have been professors at the Agricultural University, Velayani campus. And he has got one brother also. He did his BTech degree in civil engineering at NSS College of Engineering from 1993 to 97. Am I right? Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes,
My
sir.
memory is sharp. Okay.
Yeah.
After that, he has been working in India for a short span, 1+ year. And after that, he left to USA, to Arizona State University to do his PG. After the PG, he did his PhD also there. He has done his PhD in environmental engineering. Maybe the influence of my wife also, who was also specialized in environmental engineering. He was one of her favorite students.
She only taught me environmental engineering.
Yes. Okay. And after completing his PhD in environmental engineering, he has worked in USA for some years. And by 2010, he returned. Again, I'm right, no?
Yes.
Yes. So at that time, he returned and he joined the VIT, Vellore Institute of Technology, which is a deemed university, which is one of the biggest deemed university in South India or even in India. He joined there as a faculty, and of late he has been working there as a professor and also was in charge of student admissions and counseling, all those things, because last few years he has been a familiar face in Kerala, because whenever the Manorama was conducting some counseling programs for students, he was an invited guest. So his photograph was many times in the newspaper. But recently he has left VIT for a better prospect and he has joined the Jindal University, which is a much bigger university having international operations. Maybe his international exposure is also being utilized by them. And his wife, Dr. Deepa, I hope that she also joined you at Jindal, or she's still at VIT?
No, she joined. She is now
joined.
the Associate Dean for Admissions and Outreach.
Good. She was also at VIT with him, but she has also now joined Dean. So both of them are now happily at Haryana. Any plan to come to Kerala recently?
So I was there for a week for all.
Okay.
Right. We are here only for 2 months now.
Right. And last time when you came to Palghat, we met.
Yes.
Okay. So Dr. Brijesh is a very committed engineer, I can say. And as a student, he was my favorite student because he has got an interest in everything. And I like such students who have got real interest in all activities, academics, extracurricular, all such activities. He used to have very good interest. So I know that he'll be transmitting those good qualities to his students earlier in VIT, now in Jindal. And I think this introduction is enough for him, and his session will tell the remaining. I'm very much grateful that he has accepted my invitation on a short notice to address our teachers. We have got teachers from our own college, from other Ahalia colleges, and from colleges all over Kerala. Obviously, the outside teachers may be comparatively less, but still they are there. So I hope that we will have a very interesting session from Dr. Brijesh with his sufficient international exposure. Most welcome, Dr. Brijesh.
Thank you, sir, for these nice words. Actually, I have heard a lot from 93. Madhav Pilla sir's talking, making speeches. And when I was in college, I used to always think, how can somebody speak on all the subjects? I even heard once he was talking with some famous, some very renowned Islamic scholar about Islam and Bible in one of the talks. I always used to think how you can have such a knowledge. So I'm very humbled and honored to give this talk on the invitation of Madhav Pilla sir. So I will just make a presentation with some videos and all for 45 to 50 minutes, and then we can have a discussion. It's going to be my experience. When I say I put the topic Generation C, knowing Generation C, I'm not going to talk about any of their characteristics, how I taught in the class and how I interacted with them, how they reacted to what I taught is what I'm going to talk. Okay, I will share my screen now. So is my PowerPoint visible? Is it visible, sir?
It's visible, visible.
The full
It's
screen
visible.
is full screen is visible, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So today it's changing to the next slide, right?
Yes, sir, it's
Yeah,
changing.
okay.
Yes.
Okay. So my talk today, even though I put the title as Generation C Understanding, I'm not going to talk about what are the characteristics, nothing. I'm not going to even mention any of those things. I am going to tell based on the feedback I got what the current students need. Okay, this is what I'm going to talk. I'm not going to talk anything about the characteristics. So if Sir was telling me that all the faculties here, it's a cross section of faculties aged from 20s to 60s and from different branches of engineering. So the examples I have taken, I have tried to make it as general as possible so that everybody can appreciate and understand, and try to give you a message that this is something we can very well do. And one thing I wanted to tell you, as Sir was telling, I was a faculty in VIT for 11 years. It's a deemed university. The advantage I had as a faculty is that uh, uh, our university itself frames the syllabus. We conduct the two internal exam. We have the freedom to put whether to do quiz or give assignments, and we set the final year exam. So that flexibility is there, and I have used that flexibility. And I know since you are an affiliated college, that much flexibility you may have. If I had 100% flexibility, you may end up having 40 to 50% of the flexibility only. So that constraint you may have, but these few of these things is if you really wanted to do it, you can do this. Okay. Now, just to start with, we all understand these kinds of slides now, especially after COVID, and all the examples I am going to give are those which I have used it before COVID, because I have not taken any class starting from COVID. But these are all the examples I have done maybe a year, 2 or 3 years before the COVID. Okay, so these are kind of things you will easily relate now. So a student is coming to the class and telling how to turn this thing on. And this slide, I am a digital native. My parents are digital immigrants. My grandparents are digital retards. So how is your school today? You can read all about it in my blog. And you could have seen in your own house itself kids like this now. What did I do for my summer vacation? And the student is telling, you mean you haven't been following me in Twitter all summer? And this has actually happened in my class. If you write something in the blackboard and ask the students to write down, majority of them may be doing this or this. And this has become a common habit. I know there are colleges now also pre-COVID, they don't allow the cell phone, but those you allow the cell phone to be used. There are in my class almost all the students do it like this. Okay, now just two videos to brush up what kind of students and what is the mindset of the students to understand that. I'll just play this video, and most of you, not most, all of you might have seen this video. This is an advertisement of Airtel, and this is the way our students whom you teach in the in the class reacts. Okay, I'll just play this video.
सर वो
Are you able to hear the sound?
Yes, sir. Yes, it.
फेस्टिवल की डेट्स
पढ़ने आते हो या फेस्टिवल मनाने?
पढ़ने से आपकी थर्मोडायनामिक्स पर मैंने सारी किताबें पढ़ी है सर, और आपका एप्लीकेशन ऑफ थर्मोडायनामिक्स इन जीरो ग्रेविटी, व्हाट अ पॉइंट सर।
फेस्टिवल की डेट्स मेल कर देना।
भेज दिया सर।
बात करने से ही बात बनती है, इसीलिए एयरटेल पे।
So these are the kind of students, and I am pretty much sure all the faculty sitting here are able to correlate with the kind of students you are seeing it in the campus now, or before the COVID, when you used to see them in the campus. So they are very quick, and they are always digitally connected. And one more small video, and when you look at this, this is a video which explains to you what the kind of students we get now, and most of the teachers now should be able to will be able to relate to these kids. Okay, so I just showed this. Okay, so to get you into the crew of, you all know it, but this is the kind of students who are self-centered, lazy, and all those is what tech savvy is what we are, whom we are teaching right now. Now, this is actually my daughter Gayatri, and this is what I see every day in my house. Okay, she is attending the online class. So what happens when the teacher is teaching? Uh, she never keeps her textbook with her, and if we ask her what she tells you, oh, see, the textbook is available online. And if the teacher gives her question and answers, she shows me, see, it is already there. All I need to do is cut and paste and put it in the, anyway, it's an online class. I have the same question and answer is available online. So why should I write it down? And she does it. And if you, and most of you may have kids at this age home or have grandkids, and you can very well relate to this. This is what happens every day, and they always know a shortcut to do stuff, and that has, and they are successful also. So we cannot complain about it. Okay, now I just saw Madhavan Pilla sir was telling I studied engineering in 93, 97. So I graduated up there and I worked 1 year in civil engineering, 2 years in software before I went to US for my master's in Arizona State University. So in 2016, our batch went back to NSS College. Okay, so I don't think Mahadevan Pilla sir came that day. So that day, all these teachers taught that our civil engineer, around 50 of us, 50 out of 90, 50 of us went there. And the common thing the faculties told was, in 2016, too lazy, way too different from you all. They won't want to learn. You all were very good. You respected the teachers. It was sound very good to hear all these things. And one teacher even told this, because at that time, 93, 97, there used to be a lot of strikes. And in 2017, 18, it has drastically reduced. So one teacher even said, they don't even know how to organize a strike. So these things were so common when we studied there. Now, so from what we studied as students, and right now whom we are teaching, the students have changed. Now, I am just going to show you next. I'm going to read out also the feedback I got at the end of a semester. Okay, this I'm showing this not to boast about myself, but what the entire talk, what I am going to do is what did I do to get this kind of feedback, and what this feedback actually means. Okay, so I will show this feedback in the beginning, and after I explain how I took a couple of classes, I will show this at the end, so and then it will make more sense for you. Okay. Now, I'm just going to show you another 7 or 8 slides. The students used to give this feedback in VIT at the end of the semester. The students have to compulsorily give the feedback for the faculty with the point system. So I just compiled 9 or 10 from those. Okay, and then a few more also I will show it to you. And again, the point of showing this is not to boast about myself, but I am trying to make a point with this feedback. You are one of the friendliest teachers I have studied with. The best thing about your class that I personally like very much is the assignment and quiz are no more a stereotype for me. This is exactly as the students have written. I hold a great deal of respect for the degree of freedom to creativity and learning curve was provided so that the students of various backgrounds and interests could participate. So I just wanted you to emphasize or see, overemphasize on the, see for yourself the words I have marked in red, which I will explain it to you in little later. I especially like the introduction class, which was quite different. Other faculty start off with the syllabus in the first class itself. I must say that it was a better method to kickstart our class. You always stress on learning the concept and not the slides. I like your attitude, sir. You are very patient in explaining. You are readily available to clear the doubts at any time. You make the learning very interactive by including videos in the classes and doing some fun activities, which you give us for the assignment. Your continuous support and being in touch through email is really great. In sense, it saves time and we can ask you any problem we have being at home. Innovative ideas for assignments and quizzes. We don't go to class for attendance purpose while we go to get something new. You believe in trying new things and approaches. I personally could take this an opportunity to thank you for exposing us to such a friendly way of learning and also to keep us updated about the happenings that took place and even now as they are taking place in our college through mails and on Facebook. You teach all the basics very clearly. You give us slides with pictures. which we can understand easily. You also show videos for different topics so that we get a clear understanding of the concept. Okay, now if you put, I'll come back to this slide at the end of this. So all this, whatever I marked as red, I have put this in this slide. So this is something of a summary of my feedback. Okay, now I am pretty much sure if the student at the end of a semester gives any of the faculty sitting in this FDP such a feedback, you will be very happy. Now, let me tell you what I did. Okay, now, so this is, if you look at in a very broad way, this is what, if you look at the feedback, this is something what the current generation of students expect from a teacher. And I will tell you what I did. Now, in the very first day of class, typically what happens is we go to the class, you are going to tell, okay, this is a subject, these things will be there, this exam is there, this is the lab component of this is these things, all these things, and you may even tell, I'll be very strict, all these things you have to study, you have to come to the class, all those blah, 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 you will tell. And most of the time, the student come to the class expecting that. Correct? Now, in my first class, and if you do something like that, they take your class exactly like any other class. So one of the feedback, I especially like the introduction class, which was quite different. So what I did, okay, now I'm taking the environmental engineering as an example. That was the class I took maximum in VIT, and that is where my master's and PhD specialization is. By the way, like what Mahadevan Pulla sir told, I was taught this subject by Emma ma'am, who is Mahadevan Pulla sir's wife. So my fundamentals are all taught by her. Now, this is a subject which I teach. I used to teach in VIT. So the civil engineering faculties in this talk will be able to understand. And for the others, I'm just mentioning the environmental engineering covers the water and wastewater treatment plant design. So based on the various concepts, you design the water and wastewater treatment plant. So the different process like sedimentation, filtration, coagulation, then biological treatment, all is taught in this class. So one way of starting the class is, okay, first week we will teach coagulation, second week this, and start all this, then you will do 10 labs, this is the lab, this is the mark, all these things. So what I used to do is in the very first class, I try to make them understand why you should study environmental engineering. So the typical assignment which I have given, so I asked them in the class itself, there is something called Environmental Performance Index. It's a report which is published by, I think, Yale University and Columbia University combined together. They publish all, they rank all the countries in the world from 1 to whatever is the last rank based on the Environmental Performance Index. They have got some which takes into consideration air, soil, water, everything. It's a very complex algorithm. I asked them, so from 2016, 2017, I asked them, everybody has mobile phone also, I asked them, find out the 10 countries which are the eco-friendly countries in the world, and they start looking, and they started finding out all these details and tell me. So 90% of them are European countries. If I remember correctly, right now, the top of this is Switzerland. So all these countries they tell. And then I asked them this question, where is India ranked in this list? And if I again remember correctly, India is ranked 166 in the world. Now, I asked them this question, why? Now it becomes a 30-minute discussion. So they start talking, the students initially start talking about air pollution because that is what they hear and read every time because of Delhi, all this pollution. Then they start talking about soil. Then they start talking about water. Then I ask them the question, do you know where the water you drink come from? What are the process it happens? 90% of the students may not have even thought, okay, there is a water treatment plant, the water goes through certain process, it comes through the pipe, all those things. So I just start making them think, okay, so what happens? So then I used to ask, okay, if you're in VIT, how does the water come? So nobody knows. and how was what happens to the wastewater which gets generated in your house, in your hostel, all those things. So that makes them think. And then I come back, where is India ranked in the list? And it is way bottom. And then I ask them the question, what does ranking of India tell you? Then I tell them, I show this slide. See, environmental condition in India is very bad. So to improve it, there is a lot of work to be done. And what that means is, you as a student, if you do well, there is a lot of job opportunities. Automatically, this is what I discussed in the first class and nothing else. And automatically, a lot of students could relate, oh, this is what it is, or this is something which is very much closely related to us. This subject is very close to the water I drink every day from the pipe, that water I take shower every day, the wastewater which I discharge every day. And if I learn this, there is a lot of jobs. So instantly, that attraction to the subject comes in. Now, the next thing I do is, in VAT, there is a rule that 75% attendance is mandatory, but I tell the students that I don't take attendance in the class. Everybody will be allowed to write the exam. I never used to take the attendance. I tell them everybody will be allowed to write the exam, and everybody, I give them a challenge. You don't come to the class and show me that you can pass. I tell them nobody will be debarred. So if as per the rules, if you don't have 75% attendance, you will not be allowed to write the exam. Very first class, I used to tell them everybody will be allowed to write this exam. That the exam is a centralized one. I'm not going to take attendance any of these days. You can be absent all the days, but show to me that without coming to the class, you can pass my subject. You do it. Still, every year, if I teach a class of 6, I used to teach a class of 65, 7 to 10 students fail. So 55 students used to pass. So I always used to tell them, you come, if you want to learn, you come, otherwise don't come, I will still give you attendance. So what that makes is, all the students who are coming, they come, they don't have an external pressure to come because for the attendance. They come only because they want to know. So that is another thing I do in the very first class. And in the subsequent class, these are the things I basically do in the very first class, and to make them understand, okay, this is something which is very relevant. And once I start this from the second class, whatever is the concept in the last 5-6 years when I am teaching, I try my best to show them some video. And then whatever the concept I teach, and what I told my students is, if it is something which is written in plain English, which if you read, you will be able to understand after you understood the concept, that is for you to study. I'm not going to discuss that in the class. So I will teach you the basic concept. Once you know the concept, the remaining thing, you can read and write English. If those which are written in plain, simple English, it's up to you to, it is up to you to understand. So I do the numericals also in the class, but the theory part, which the students themselves are very dry, I leave it to them to study. So any concept is there, I typically ask the students, I typically do it through a video, and then I discuss that with students. For example, in water treatment plants, a simple thing, since there are cross-section of faculties, I just wanted to tell this. So in water treatment plant, we use coagulants to remove the dirt, heavy particles from water. So there is a process called coagulation followed by sedimentation, where the alum gets attached to the native dirt particles. So to explain that, I used to show this video to the students. It's just 30 seconds. Okay, so this is the video. So this is if you look at this is the dirt, the dirty water need to be treated, to which we have added alum. this is the process which is happening. All these negative charges are the dirt, and the plus positive is the alum concentration, the alum ions which we are adding. So if you look at this, so if I show this video to them and play it 2 or 3 times, so they understand. So as the alum get attached to the negative charge soil particles, it becomes heavy, it gets settled. So these are the kind of things. So a concept which may take, say, 40 minutes to explain in theory, you show this video, they will be able to easily relate. So always I try to make sure that they understand, or they are taught a concept with a video. And if you put little extra effort, these days all these videos are available in YouTube. All you need to do is download, or if you have a net connection, you just use that and do it. Now, the key for the feedback, I believe, is due to the exams and assignments. And I think one of my students is also there in this talk. I saw him joining, because so he will also vouch for it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. So exams and assignments have to be different. And I will tell you, my dear faculty colleagues, if you ask the questions in assignments and exam which make them think, okay, they just love it. And I will show it to you, the feedback I have. Okay. And I think somebody's microphone is not in mute. I think because I think yours is
Yeah, I've just
muted. Okay, thank you. See, now I will next show you a question paper I gave to environmental engineering students. Okay, this was a question paper I gave in 2015. The day they were writing this exam, it is called continuous assessment test, which is called CAT in VAT. The day when they were writing the exam, at the same time, Pakistan was playing South Africa in the World Cup cricket. Okay, so see this, it is an environmental engineering question paper which deals with water and wastewater treatment. In this was you can go and see, this was in February, this exact date. Most of the time the students might have seen few hours and came to write the exam. So this was the question paper I gave. As you write this CAT exam, Pakistan is playing against South Africa in a Pool B match of a World Cup cricket. Assuming that this particular match was held in outdoor stadium of VAT University, the BCCA has allocated the match to VAT in the month of August 2014. Now, when they're writing, it was February 2015. Immediately after allocation of venue, you being an expert in water treatment was appointed as chief engineer by VAT University to design and construct a water treatment plant that could cater to the 80,000 crowd coming to watch the match, and also for the VATians. Even that happened from the day you are appointed as chief engineer to the day of the match form part of the question paper. Okay, so this was the introduction. I'll show you the entire question. Okay, so I correlated environmental engineering concept they studied with the cricket. And cricket is something every student can relate to. And that cricket match was something which was happening as they were writing the exam. And that may be something they might have just watched few hours and came to write the exam. Now I will show you the 8 questions, 8 or the 10 questions I asked. Okay, and I will show you what could have been a straightforward question also. Your first job as chief engineer is to find an ideal location for water treatment plant inside VAT University. Once you have identified the location, you need to submit a 250-word document to Chancellor of VAT University explaining him why you selected that location. What will be your report to Chancellor of VAT University? Okay, if you want to ask this, what are the factors that need to be considered while selecting the location of water treatment plant? And this question are the same. But now they have to think, and they have to think with respect to, they know all the places, and now they might have studied the theory part. Now they have to visualize and put that whatever they studied in theory in practice. Okay, the next question. Once you finalize the location for water treatment plant, you need to identify the various unit processes Please explain the logic behind selecting the process. Now the third question. Overall budget allocated for the renovation of VIT outdoor stadium by BCC is very low, and you were asked to reduce the expenditure to the minimum. One of the proposals that come to your desk from BCCA to reduce the cost is to give the sand for filtration unit from Pala River. That is a local river. How will you convince BCCA that you cannot use the sand from Pala River? So basically, they need to apply what are the characteristics of sand that can be used as filter. Now, the Pakistan and South African team arrived for the match on 5th. That I think the exam happened on 8th or 9th of March and started practicing in the stadium. In the stadium during practice, Pakistan captain and South African insist that they need only commercially available bottled water for drinking. You as the chief engineer of this water treatment plant know that water produced in the new water treatment plant is much better quality than that is commercially available bottled water. How will you convince those captains to drink the water from the new water treatment plant in VIT? Okay, so it is basically, you need to explain what is the PA standard of drinking water. Again, this is, I have put the filter with some, again, what are the filter stuff, I don't want to. Now, one of the other matches in this World Cup will be played in Srinagar. A new water treatment plant has been constructed there to treat X million liters per day of water to cater to the World Cup match there. BCC found out that the capacity of water treatment plant to be constructed in VIT University is also X million liter per day. BCC president sends a letter to you to copy that design from Srinagar and do not reinvent the wheel. What could be your reply to Srinivas? Okay, so this is the question. So basically, I have taught them what is the effect of temperature on the design of water treatment plant. And the students need to apply that knowledge. So I am coming at the application part. Now, the contractor who constructed the water treatment plant accidentally interchanged the rapid mixer and slow mixer in coagulation flocculation tanks. So the water now coming out first encounters the slow mixer and then rapid mixer. The contractor is trying to convince you that even though he has interchanged the mixers, it is okay and the water treatment plant will work fine. What answer will you give? So what is the proper train of water treatment? So now, okay, this is something again, this is how much chlorine you need to add. Okay, I'm not going to go. So you got I just wanted to give you the pulse of what happens here. Okay, now I have given a question, bonus question for 2 marks. Actually, it is 50. I given for 52. In the last, in less than 5 sentences, write down your thoughts on this question paper. Okay, out of 65, 61 students wrote the exam. And let me tell you, and I will show it to you also, the entire 61 gave me positive feedback. Okay, now I'll just show you 3 and I'll show you that PDF with, and that will make you understand how much the students appreciate this generation students appreciate such kind of questions. In the first place, when I did it, I also did this as an experiment, but when I got the first feedback, I also got shocked. But in the subsequent years, I know this is what the feedback is going to be. And if you get an opportunity, my request to all the faculty colleagues, faculty friends who are listening to this, you try something like this. Okay, of course, one of the thing is, if you want to make a question paper like this, you need to invest a lot of effort, lot of time. First of all, you need to think about an idea. Then you need to connect it with the question paper. So it takes a lot of time and effort. And correction is also something which takes a lot of effort. So if you look at it, I'll just totally application-based paper. This is how question papers. This is actual feedback I got from the undergraduate BTech students. Total application-based paper. This is how question papers are supposed to be made for engineers. Practically, you have to use your brain and answer the question. And 2 mark bonus, sir, you are the best. most practical paper ever attempted. This is by another student. Really felt very professional and boosted up while attempting the paper. Had lot to do with one's observation. Test the presence of mind and clearance of concept. I can surely tell it was the most practical paper. No e-exam in the whole world can be like this. The question paper was superb, completely application based. We got to apply our knowledge in real life situations. Such patterns should be encouraged. No mugging up of data required. Okay, and I can show you the entire feedback which I got. Are you able to see this PDF file?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so see, this is 61 feedback which I got. You go through this, everything is positive, and if you go through this, one feel you get the students want to have such question papers. Totally application. This is how question papers are. Okay, the first three only. This question paper is very good because this paper is totally application based. Due to answering this type of question paper, definitely our knowledge will increase. And most of the students told that they learned more in the 90 minutes than what they studied and come for the exam. The paper was quite different and was expected and was not expected in such a manner. Most of the questions were straightforward with some application. Most practical paper ever attempted. Really felt very professional and boosted up while attempting the paper. This paper brings out the ability of the student to apply knowledge in a practical way. So you can go through it. It's all positive comments. And why I'm showing this is something which the current generation of students are looking for. This paper was very interesting. I have never seen this type of paper in my life, as it taught me to think about the application that we study in our course, as we will be facing these type of problems when we go out of our university after graduation. The same problem will be handled in future. So I learned for now itself. So I'm just scrolling it slowly so that you can see that I did not get a single negative comment for this question after I put this. The question paper was not among the stereotype paper of PIT. It was fun and learning to see how in actual the problem comes to us as engineer. Moreover, I appreciate your efforts. Question is a lot to think, and everything was within the class notes or slides, but asked in a very practical form. Overall, I could like to see more purpose of this kind. Very good it was. See, as a BTech student, I feel that practical application of knowledge is the essence of any engineer. Hence, I'm very grateful to you, sir, for setting such an application-based paper. And I could also wish that you could encourage other faculty members to do the same, which is what I'm doing right now. Example, instead of asking dependence of rate of chemical reaction on temperatures, you gave case study in Srinagar. Okay, now this example of temperature with Srinagar, I mentioned it in the class, but I never given them in the slide or anything. So what that means is those who were in the class as heard it, and after this class, all the students understood what I told. You without coming to the class, you try to pass. You show me that you can pass. Okay. Now another example I will tell you. This is something everybody can understand. It's a very simple example, and the civil engineering faculties can put this into use also the next time. So there is a subject called construction materials and technology, or construction materials, in all the civil engineering courses. Okay, and that is one of the driest subject. You talk about bricks, you talk about rock, you talk about wood, different types of wood, all those blah blah topic. See, this is all completely theory oriented. Okay, and it is such a boring. And if you teach this thing to current students, they will tell, "Sir, don't teach. We have all the notes in the online. We will download. You give the notes. We will study and write the exam." Do you know what? I did an open book exam for this in the first CAT exam, for continuous access exam. I just gave one question. Okay, and I'll show you that question. You have been appointed as campus engineer of VIT University today. Chancellor wanted to demolish the entire, the GDN is GD Naidu block, which is the oldest block in VIT. Okay, so that's a 3-story building. They wanted to demolish and construct a replica of it. Your duty is to procure the construction material for the construction of the new building. What all materials you will buy and why? That was the 90-minute question. Only one question I gave it. I told them open book, open note, that time when I did this, there was phone, internet was, you can bring your laptop with net connection, you do whatever you want, you cannot talk to your friend. Sit in the class for 90 minutes, do whatever you done and write and give it to me. Okay. This question, okay, I just made them write this question. And do you know what happened? Before exam, the students used to sit in the class like this. And after the exam, the entire attitude of the student changed. And they came and told me the way they look at that building, GDN, has completely changed. They started looking at, oh, what is this material? After the exam, oh, what is this? Oh, this is something what we studied. Okay, this is what. So the entire approach changed. So that is the power of application-based question in the mind of current generation of students. Now, assignment also play an equally important role, and this I think even if you are affiliated to a university, you as a teachers have better control. Okay, I'll give you some examples. Now, in engineering, typically the marks for assignment or assignment is meant for copy from, at least when we were studying, there was no computer and all, we have to at least sit and copy right hand. Now what happens is, as my daughter used to do, cut and paste and put it and submit. So you don't even have to, all you need to do is Control-C, Control-V. That is what happens. So now let me show you the assignment I gave and how involved the students become. Now, for my environmental engineering class, I teach from July to November. And typically in VIT, there used to be 1 week holiday for Diwali. And since in VIT, there are students across India and majority are from North India, they used to go home for Diwali. So that 1 week, what assignment I give is visit the water or wastewater treatment plant in your city. So I make them, tell them, go to the plant, and if possible, if they allow, take a photo or video. And if you are allowed to take a video or photo, either make a 5-minute video and submit to me, or you submit to me anywhere from 5 to 10 page report with photos. What you see, what you learn. And then I also tell them to bring 3 liters of the drinking water you use in your house while you come back. Most of them bring tap water, some of them brings well water, whatever water they drink. Now, they come back by something like end of October, first week of November or something, and there are going to be, this has got lab also. So in the lab, the last class before the exam is a repeat class or doubt class. So I typically keep this class on a Saturday. And I tell them, okay, you come, you have brought 3 liters of water. You test and see what is there in the water you drink or whatever water you brought from so automatically the kids have the curiosity to see, okay, I am drinking, my parents are drinking, my whole family is drinking. What is there in this water? So they start testing turbidity, alkalinity, hardness, BOD, COD, all those things. Then now what happens is when you make them do the lab experiment on the class hour, whether the alkalinity is 300, 500, 800, hardness is 1000, turbidity is 100, 200, that is just a number for them. And if the SAR says, okay, go, they leave. That's all. And they come here, they need attendance, they need to know how to do it. Now, if they say turbidity is 55, that number is related to their life. So that is something which they see in their, this is something. So definitely they are going, oh, my hardness is 400. Oh, this is very hard. Now they go and check. If it is very hard, what is going to happen? Oh, that is why there is a lot of airfall happening for me, because my heart. That starts, they start thinking. They come to me, sir, this is what is happening. And then for the lab exam, Viva is there. I ask them, show me the results of that water you tested. Then I ask them some questions and they are able to answer it. Why? Because they understood, first thing, they understood it is something that is happening day to day. And I put it in such a way that all those things they are doing is something which they could easily correlate to day things that is happening every day. Now, so everything what they were doing, they could relate to why they are doing it and where the application is. And this is what I have done for that semester. And now, and after doing this is what I got this feedback. And now I will show you the same feedback, and I am sure you will be able to appreciate why this is good. And if I can assure you, I have done this multiple times, not one semester. And I can vouch that if you can do something even 50% close to it, I'm pretty much sure that the students will definitely like your class and appreciate your class. I'll just go through the feedback again to make you understand. Now, since I have showed you the different steps I have taken in my class, so they have not seen something which is very practical oriented for a long time. So you're one of the friendliest teachers I have studied with. The best thing about your class that I personally like very much is the assignment and quiz, and no more a stereotype for me. I hold a great deal for the degree of freedom to creativity and learning curve was provided. So like I allow them to make the video of the water treatment plant they visited. So it just will be amazed. You will be amazed to see the kind of videos you get with very high quality videos they can make. They will just, what is that? You just get, you won't have words to explain some of the students, the effort they have put. If you ask them to write something, they may just copy from somewhere and put it. But when I ask them to go and see a water treatment plant, make a video, write, the kind of videos I have got is extremely good. So those kind of freedom, if you give, naturally this current generation enjoyed it, and they will definitely participate in the class discussions also. It's very, very important that in the very first class, you need to make them understand why you are studying that subject. And this current generation, unless and until, sir, I have time, right, sir? Another 5 more minutes. Unless and until.
5 more minutes, you can go ahead. Okay.
Yeah, sir, I'm done, almost done. Unless and until they understand, okay, this is something for me, or it is something I can use it in the future, they are never going to have any interest on it. Okay, so all these things. Now I think if you look at it, and again, this generation they were using the digital mode from birth. So any idea if you want to put forth, the best thing, first thing, okay, what is a visual medium, or do I have a visual content to convey this message? If not, only you go for picture. If not, only you start talking. Again, emails and being available when the students have questions, it's very important. Again, you will, as I told you, you will be shocked to see how much these students appreciate innovative ideas and all this. So I think now, if you look at these keywords, if you look at it, is what the current generation of students wanted, and this is how. This is I put this and I went back and saw, what is the Millennium Kid, Generation C, and all those things. If you look at it, this is something which they also wanted. And I came back and said, okay, so this is what they wanted and this is how I could provide. And I thought I will share it with faculty members so that if there is something, see, what works for me may not work for you. And maybe 10% may work for you. It may not work at all. So if you think that there are some concepts which you can take it, I'll be, that's why I shared my experience with all of you. So I think I completed 10 minutes before time. So if you have any questions or maybe Mahadevan Pilla sir or anybody in Ahalia can take this forward. Thank you.
It's now time for the teachers, participants to ask him questions.
Actually, I have a question. I'm just curious. Since if you give such an application-oriented questions, aren't the students panicked?
No. Okay. Let me tell you this. Before the exam, I used to tell them that you are going to see something you have never seen. I've told them, and don't panic, and I am going to see the effort you put in, not the right answer. Okay, so I have always told this to the students that it is the effort. And most of the questions which I have asked in open book questions, I have no direct answer. Okay, so I am going to see the effort. And what I do, since it was a deemed university and I had the freedom, what I used to do is I always tell them the best answer will get the 100 marks, and I will rank it based on that. So yeah, that is very key, that you put such a question paper, and then you should not be correcting very strictly. This is like you need to see how much they understood and how much effort they have put in. It cannot be a very definite answer. So for example, I will tell you, I think Vikas should be here. He was my master's student where I teach design of water and wastewater treatment and advanced wastewater treatment. I gave them a 3-hour final exam I gave them an open-ended an open-ended question of designing and even designing the structure for a wastewater treatment plant for a specific flow. That one, I know for 90 minutes nobody can do it, but the best approach whoever has adopted, I have given them full mark, and it goes back. So you are right that if without any knowledge, if they get this kind of questions, they will be panicked. I told them that you are going to get something you have never seen in your life. So they were prepared, and I told it is not, and I used to tell them there is no right, and I'm not looking at the right answer, I'm looking at the approach, and you need to understand the concept, and there is no need to mug up anything. And most of these question papers are open book, so definitely they don't have to mug up anything at all.
Thank you very much, because I was quite kind of panicked when I saw that. That's why.
No. Ma'am, do you have internal exams where you yourself set the question?
We do have, yes,
Yeah,
but we have a pattern to follow.
So that cannot be changed.
Mahadevan sir, can that be changed? I just want to know, because I'm quite new in this, so I want others to say.
Yeah, for the internal exams, the question pattern only is given. Questions are the teacher's freedom.
See,
Like
now
what Dr. Brijesh was saying, most of things I also used to do in my test papers like this, realistic oriented. It is possible, teachers can do it.
see, I think the thing is, you have, if I understood it correctly, you have 50 marks question. You need to give 5 marks for 4 questions and 10 marks 3 questions. These kind of questions can be part of 5 marks 4 questions and 2 10-mark question. It is very much possible.
Thank you.
Any more questions?
Hopefully, it was. I hope this was useful. I again want to thank Mahadevan Pilla sir for giving me this opportunity to interact with your faculty members. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Brajesh. And it was a very interesting talk for me, because I think long since I heard a session from you. So that was good to hear. And thankful to your student also who has joined, Vikas has joined. And I think a formal word
Thank you, sir.
a formal word of thanks from our teachers. Who will give the formal word of thanks? Whom I am seeing? I am seeing Soumya on the screen. Soumya, please give a word of thanks to Dr. Brajesh and the others.
Good afternoon, sir. On behalf of Ahalia School of Engineering and Technology, I would thank Dr. Bijesh Nair, sir, for such a wonderful speech. It has influenced us a lot, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
I would also thank our principal, Dr. P.R. Sri Mahadevan, sir, for conducting such a workshop. Thank you, sir. I thank Dr. Krishnumar Kishore, sir, Vice Principal, all the HODs, and all the teaching and non-teaching staff for attending this session. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very
sir.
much. Thank you. Bye. Right.